Alright, so today is March 20 something, and I'm gonna go get Toothpick today. Now, I was supposed to get him on April 18th, but with the current coronavirus crisis, I'd rather have him right here at home where I can work on it. I have a lot of maintenance items to take care of before the season, so that's gonna be just dandy. Now, I don't think it's gonna give me any problems, really. The only major thing is the transmission. It has been leaking a lot through the shifter rod. Because all those little grommets right there are dried up. So anyway, I hope it hasn't left the ground covered in oil over the course of the winter. It's been parked for 5 months, but I'm gonna be bringing plenty of Type F ATF because fired. And that's it. I'm gonna bring quite a few fluids, coolant, oil, just to be ready. Also a few tools. Now, I don't think I'm gonna be able to film in the barn where the car is parked. So you won't see the startup process, but I'm going to catch you right outside at the gas station before leaving for the big trip. And that's it. So I'll catch you there. Alright, so I'm sorry about the I guess digging out part of the process. It was a big diesel making noise. I couldn't film anything. But after a few pumps fired up, I unplugged the coil and gave it a few cranks just to build oil pressure. And then I plugged the coil back in. And it fired up eventually. It needed quite a bit of transmission fluid, but now we're good. So I'm gonna fire it up and drive it home. It's about a 30-minute drive, so I don't think we'll have any problems. Here we go. Started doing that when it was cold last year, and I figured it would stop, but apparently not. So we might have some tuning to do. Actually, I know we will have tuning to do. It's misfiring a little bit. Gas is all burned. I want fresh gas in there. Alright. Going 70 miles. So far so good. Temperature is normal. Volts, oil pressure, everything. gotta fix this damn door. Alright, so I got the car on my expensive lifting platform in my luxurious garage, and I'm just about ready to get started on the spring tune-up. Originally, I was supposed to go to the Kutztown Antique Radio Show, which is basically just a swap meet for antique radio collectors. I collect antique radios. And that's down in Pennsylvania. That would have been a 1,200-mile round trip. Now, with the current coronavirus crisis and all of the prohibited travel, closed borders, etc., I probably won't be able to go. It's on May 8th, I think, something like that. Anyway, I still want to prepare Toothpick for the season, and now that I have him at home earlier than I thought, I can take my time and prepare it while the snow melts and the streets get cleaner. So let's get started on the list. I have quite a few items that I want to tackle. So the car hasn't had an oil change in almost 2 years. It needs 2 brand new fuel filters. I need to protect the rubber transmission cooler lines, and eventually I'd like those to be metal, so that might be included. Same thing for the fuel filters. What's the project hidden behind that is I might just convert all of the rubber line to hard line. So anyway, that might be a little bit further in the horizon. I can still change the fuel filters now and drive the car as is, but in the end I like the fuel lines to be all metal, ideally. And then I also have brand new spark plugs, spark plug wires. I have a rear U-joint. The front one is fairly recent. I like to mount an electric fuel pump somewhere in the fender, hidden, so that I have a spare in case my mechanical Chinese-made chingadera fails and I'm stuck on the side of the road 500 miles from home. I just want a backup plan, because I don't really trust those mechanical fuel pumps, especially those modern ones, which don't seem to be very well made. Then I also need to find a spare tire for the car. I'd like to measure the belts that I have on the car right now and go buy some spares, hide them with the spare tires, because right now I don't have any belts, nor do I know the length of the cooling belt and the power steering belt. So those are things I need to prepare. I also want to clean the rear brakes because I have a leak on the rear differential. Now, I could fix the leak, but the biggest item on the list for 2020 is to replace the rear differential with a Ford 9-inch. Now, most of these wagons came with a Ford 9-inch, but mine was built in Canada, meaning it has a 302. Well, it had it originally, and that also means it got the special small block wagon rear end, which is the ratio is okay. It's got a 3:10 ratio, but it's weak, and the parts are a little bit harder to find than a Ford 9-inch. And eventually, I'd like the car to be ready for a bigger engine. Right now, it's got a 5-liter out of Mustang, which I converted back to carburetor. But eventually, I might put a 390 in there, but I'm not sure. My grand scheme of things is a 390 with Holley fuel injection, but that might never happen. So anyway, just in case, I want a nice, freshly rebuilt Ford 9-inch in the back. I know where a good donor car is. There is a old car junkyard west of Montreal, which has a 1967 Country Squire like this, just 1 year older, and it's got a 390 from the factory with the Ford 9-inch in the back, and all the coil spring plates and all the brackets are in the right place already. I would have to just go pull it out, bring it home, get it rebuilt, slap it in, and it would work.
talking about the rear end, I do have fresh new coil springs inside the house for the car, so for the back I mean, so those can get installed right now. Oh, the main thing, you see the strap right there? That's my temporary fix, because last year in June I drove the car home after some appointment somewhere, and I slammed the door and then it wouldn't shut. It wouldn't stay shut. So right now the door is strapped shut because the door check, either the spring or the mechanism itself, it's broken. And I did order a replacement mechanism, and I hope that it's easy to change. Also, I might find out that it's only the spring that's broken on my original one, but at this point I just preferred ordering the whole thing and having all the parts ready. So that's a major upgrade that we're gonna do, because from June to October last year I had to get in through the passenger side all the time, and it's driving me nuts. So that's one thing I want to do absolutely very soon. Now, I also need to learn how to repack those bearings in the front. I know it's not very complicated. I think it's very similar to a trailer or something, but I've never done it, so I need to learn, and I'm gonna do that. Also, how to adjust them, don't not get them too tight, etc. I have shiny new valve covers that I want to put on, because right now it's got the 95 Mustang valve covers, which are made for a PCV system, and I don't have a PCV valve or anything of the sort. Maybe sometime, but it's just gonna have breathers for a while. Also, the valve covers that I got are much nicer looking. And finally, there's another few more things that I need to do, like deleting the power steering cooler. I don't know why, but the car came with a power steering cooler. It's just a little radiator, which has one channel and one return. It's super simple, and I don't think it's necessary, really. I want to simplify the engine bay. I might even tuck the vacuum lines away and put the starter relay on the firewall, just get cleaner inner fenders. So that's part of the process. I might delete the power steering cooler. And oh, finally, I have a steering box leak and a transmission leak. The steering box leak I might be able to do at home. It's just the little seal that seals the input shaft of the steering box. But for the transmission, it's all those little grommets that go around the shifter rod, and you need to take out part of the valve body to do that, and I'm not my body's not ready for that. So I have appointments for the steering and the transmission in May if they don't get canceled. So anyway, that's about it for me rambling today, and next episode is going to be some of these items on the list, and maybe a little test drive, because today was just a little bit stressful, and I want a nice test drive once the oil is changed and a few little things like that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.